Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Teenager Tuesday. My name's Nate Stuckey. I'm the student pastor over at the Prosper campus, and I'm hanging out with one of my students, one of my guys, Braden Leitner. How you doing, Braden?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, man. Excited to have you here.
Yeah.
Excited to do this. So we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to ask Braden a couple of questions. He's going to kind of share his story with us today. And so that's kind of my first question really is just like, tell us a little bit about your story, your relationship with God, how you kind of got to the place you are now.
Sounds good. So I always just like grew up in the church, just like every other Christian family.
Yeah.
Just grew up in the church, went to church on Sundays, did the whole Wednesday night thing. But I really like found my relationship with God when I went on a mission trip with my old church, Preston Trail. We were just being able to go and like go serve others and like go in our lives and just like go and preach out the word of God to them. But through that, like they really preached to me, and I was able to see like, wow, like what God did in their lives of like how people with so little, like financially would have so much like spiritual like health and growth.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was lacking in that my whole life, just like where I knew of God, but I didn't really know what God had in store for me.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to like, I always wanted God to like always tell me my purpose and like what he needed me to do. So like through this, like I felt like I wasn't spiritually rich, and that's the kind of life I wanted to have. Those people that had so little in this world but had everything to gain with God.
Man.
That really spoke to me, and I needed that in my life. So that was the day I just decided like, wow, this is what I need in my life of God.
Man, I love that. That's like so much of that is just all of our stories, just like realizing that there's something missing. Like maybe I have things in the world, maybe I don't, but there's still something else out there that like I want to get a hold of, I want to learn more about. And you found that in Jesus, and now you're a junior.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're about to be a senior. Yeah, just finished your junior year. You're like one of the core people of our student ministry over in Prosper. So talk a little bit about Hope students, like on your walk with God. What has that kind of meant to you? What have you gotten from that? What have you kind of learned from being a part of Hope students?
So Hope students is really made me grow, especially like you and stuff, and always pushing for me to go to like these big retreats, like we have the SKO or movement.
Yeah.
And through these like I get these like super highs like with God, and just like my life is like so much better, and like I feel fulfilled, like God's calling me. He's like refilled me into where I can just go out and spread his word to everybody. But always getting in these up and down feelings of just like, okay, like I feel God, but like when I go to movement, I feel him and everything. But then other times it's just like not feeling it as much. And so it's through this I've had to learn that you always need to like plug yourself back into the church, and like Hope Fellowship has so many ways to do that, of just like serving, worship, just being able to always like be refilled and all the time, and to have God like really guide you in his life.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. So cool. And then, so like Braden has actually taken like another step in his Hope Students journey, and he's actually going to help out with one of our 6th grade small groups.
Yeah.
So we're super excited. Like, how did you kind of get to the place where you're like, man, and you talked a little bit about this earlier, but you were like, man, I've been coming to Hope Students, getting a lot out of it, but now I'm ready to like also go back and pour more into the next generation, like the younger students. Like, tell me a little bit about that.
So the biggest thing for me is like, I feel like God has called me in my heart to like pour out to others, because I feel like God's presence and his love the most when I'm giving to others. And that's always been one of my strongest attributes, of just like going to give that homeless person that $100 and just making you feel.
Dang, $100. Shoot, man.
I was an example. We're not that rich. We're not that rich out here. Maybe 20. No, but just always being able to go out and give people and give. 'Cause I've always felt like good when I do that, and so I've always wanted to like go out and help the younger kids like learn, just like I've had great leaders like you in my life to be able I feel a little good. Just great leaders and like role models in my life to be able to go out and pour into me, and I just want to continue and pass that on and pour out to the younger kids.
Yeah, dude, that's super cool. Excited for your senior year, like leading with us, like doing all this stuff that he's doing. What is something maybe that you feel like this year, like you want to continue to grow in your relationship with God with? Like where are you still kind of working? Like you're like, man, I want to just continue to get better and better here.
Definitely, like I said, like leaning in and out of the church, especially like when school and all like your activities start coming into play. I just want to make sure like I'm very consistent.
Yeah.
And as much as like I'm pouring into others, we also make sure I'm getting poured back into.
Yeah.
So that I can pour back into these kids as much as I need to.
Yeah.
So biggest thing is just staying consistent with just like praying or just like having something I need to do, like priorities every time, like reading the Bible, pray.
Yeah.
Being able to have meetings and Bible studies with you.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We're starting one now. We just for Prosper High Schoolers, we just met. We actually came from there today.
Just
Our
the
first
gym.
Bible study, getting together. So that's so cool that you're involved in those things, plugged in. Because Braden, this dude's a footballer, like always at camps, like colleges, getting recruited, stuff like that. But like you're still being intentional about making time for growing spiritually, and that's such a cool thing, you know, because like we all get so busy. It's easy for those things to kind of fall to the side, things to kind of fall to the back burner, but like you're really choosing, no man, like I'm going to stay consistent in this. Like that's so cool.
And I think that's one of the biggest things is like, especially because I had to work, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't come to our Sunday night youth service for a long time, and I just like, man, I felt like I was missing out on something.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, like I want God so bad, but like I'm scheduled to work.
Yeah.
And so there just came a day where I just like, no, I can't do this anymore. Like I want to run after God.
Yeah.
I feel empty without him right now. And so I needed to fix the schedule. Got that fixed.
That's
and
cool.
ever since we started making sure I came to youth every Sunday night.
I love that, man. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. Like just being intentional about that is so rare for a young student, but it kind of shows just like the power of being there and showing up and finding a way to get there. Like God can continue to work in those things. So it's so cool, man. We wanted to share a little bit of Braden's story. He was telling a little bit about that. I think that's so awesome. We have a couple of things that I wanted to share with you about ways you could get your student plugged in, because really, hopefully, the reason we're doing this is just so that you can hear these things and be encouraged that hopefully Hope Students can be a safe space, a place for your student to grow, them to walk through difficult things, growth areas, any of that, and just continue to find Jesus and move to the center of his purpose for their life. And so hopefully that's an encouragement to you. We have something coming up and something that we do here called Student Regen. And so Regeneration is a program, like a ministry that we do for adults that's about just kind of like getting unstuck from something. It could be anything, something you've been through in the past, something you're going through currently, something you're just struggling to get past. Like regeneration is such a good tool for kind of working through those things in a biblical sense. And we've started this thing over the last year where we're doing it in student ministry. So it's called Student Regeneration. And it's an incredible ministry. It's an incredible thing. If you have a student that you feel like, man, they're just stuck spiritually, needing a breakthrough, needing to get over, maybe it's a habit, a sin issue, whatever it is, or something from their past, this is such a great place to go and do that. And we're having like an informational day where they'll kind of come and experience Student Regen on July 15th. And so if you're interested, sign up for it, show up. I think that'd be a super cool thing. But ultimately, we just want to help resource your student, help them just grow in their faith, like Braden here. Maybe get them on a podcast someday talking about all that God's done in their life. So hopefully that's encouraging to you. Hopefully it's been helpful. Braden, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you for being here.
Always.
He's busy, so it was hard to get him, but we got him here. All that to say, hey, as we sign off, as always, we want to remind you that you can do this. You are not alone. God is with you, and so are we. Thanks, y'all.